Next up at UFC Charlotte, we have Yeon Kim taking on Mandy Bohm. Yeon Kim is 9-6 overall. She is 1-4 in her last 5, riding that 4-fight losing streak. She's taking on Mandy Bohm, 7-2 overall, 3-2 in her last 5, and she is looking for her first UFC win. And we have a woman on a 4-fight losing streak who only has 9 wins in 17 fights, and she opened that almost a 3-1 favorite. And that is just absurd to me. Because Mandy Bohm is not like a bum. Like, Mandy Bohm is decent. She has lost her first 2 UFC fights, one of which she was dominated with the striking. The next one, she was taken down twice, gave up a bunch of control time. So we have seen her lose multiple ways. Despite that current streak, though, she is pretty good everywhere. If you go back to the regional scene and watch that tape, she's not great anywhere, but her striking is solid. Her grappling is pretty solid. She'll work in takedowns on the regional scene, make things happen. We just haven't seen that yet in the UFC. She's taking on Yeon Kim. Yeon Kim likes to fight at range. She likes to pick people apart. I'm dogging her for that 4-fight losing streak, but a couple of bad decisions in the mix. She's got solid output at 6 significant strikes per minute. Her takedown defense, though, is not very good. She's actually given up takedowns in 5 of her 6 UFC losses. And she does have solid submission defense, but she doesn't scramble well and just ends up being held down the entire time. I'm going to pick Kim here because in order for Mandy to win, she's going to need to wrestle. I have seen her wrestle on the regional scene. I know she has those takedowns, but I've yet to see her do it in the UFC, so I can't just assume that all of a sudden she's going to pull that out. So Yeon Kim's going to be the pick, but if Mandy Bohm comes in here and wrestles, as we've seen her do outside the UFC, I think she can get Kim down and hold her down and win this fight that way. But anybody betting money on this fight, I mentioned the Quick Picks video, deserves to lose their money. You're financially irresponsible.
Get your hands cut off.
You're financially irresponsible. It's absurd. Like this, it should be a trap. The sports book, it should be a trap from the government. Who bet on that fight? Okay.
What's the best
hold
knife
their money
to cut a
for
hand
them.
off, you think?
I don't know. If I remembered from The Office what he said the best knife was for a goose's neck, I would say that answer.
Like a serrated edge? Probably. The bone's
No,
gonna
that's
be
not
tough.
how you chop.
Obviously, if you're
chop.
gonna chop it, that's easy. I mean, you can use pretty much anything on that. But if you're gonna actually cut, I mean, I'm trying to think.
It has to be a chop. It has to be a chop.
I don't know.
What do you think of this fight,
get through
Jacob?
bone? I think
Yes, you can chop through bone.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
I'm just.
What do you think of this fight, Jacob?
Yeah, I think everything that you said good about Mandy is incorrect, but everything you said bad about her is 100% accurate. Listen, she's a confident fighter. I mean, she comes in there and she believes that she is going to win every single fight, and you can see that when she is in striking exchanges. She is a confident fighter, but her striking, her grappling, everything she does is just so sloppy, and there's just no speed to it. There's no power to it. Everything's a little bit loopy. Everything seems a little bit lackadaisical, and sometimes those girls clean things up. I mean, sometimes those girls realize, okay, this is my UFC opportunity. This is probably her last chance. If she loses this, she's probably gone. And we've seen girls come in and really kind of clean things up. And maybe, as you said, maybe she does come in and wrestle. And if she comes in and shoots some takedowns and wrestles, maybe she can win this fight. But this is probably going to be a striking fight. And Kim's the better striker. I mean, yes, she is on that 4-fight losing streak and stuff, but she is the more technical fighter. And that's really all it's going to take for this fight to get the job done. It's just boom, boom, just beat her to the punch. I mean, Mandy Bohm, in her last fight, she got taken down, but she was losing striking exchanges to Victoria Leonardo. If you're losing striking exchanges to Victoria Leonardo, that's not a good situation. Victoria came in there, wanted it more, beat her to the punch, bullied her in that fight, and I think Kim can kind of do the same thing. They're both fighting for the UFC lives, so this could turn into a sloppy war, because Kim will bite down and throw sloppy. Mandy will come in, throw some sloppy shots as well, so you nailed it. Don't bet either side on this. Just stay away. This is going to be an early morning card. If you guys want to go, make lunch, maybe go to McDonald's, come back. The fight will be over. It'll be 15 minutes, but stay away from it. My pick is going to be Kim.
Yeah, we're on the same side here. You're a little more extreme than I am. You mentioned Mandy losing to Victoria Leonardo. We both agree Victoria Leonardo's not good.
Well, I wouldn't, Victoria hate. I try to not to disrespect fighters.
Yeah, and in fact, you did make Victoria Leonardo your lock of the week at one point. How'd that go?
I believe she dominated. I don't think I've ever lost a lock of the week. If I'm,
I don't think that's how that went.
I'm trying to remember. I'm 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that last loss, and I think it was 2019, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it wasn't great for you. So yeah, credibility is a little out the window on this one, but we're on the same side here. Obviously, the safest bet is
the fact that I picked Victoria Leonardo as my lock of the week gives me no credibility for this fight somehow. What kind of math is that?
Yeah, because Victoria's trash, and you thought she was amazing. So now, you know, the things you say here are just not good.
Okay. Well.
Anyway, I think the safest bet on this is obviously the over on rounds, and frankly, parlay that with
minus
something
340.
else. Parlay it. Parlay.
Jesus.
I'm not a huge fan of parlaying overs when it's 2.5 because you're just like begging for a decision.
Overs. I absolutely hate. There's nothing I talk about in a live stream is
because you're rooting for a boring fight.
You're rooting for not a finish. It's like why would I want to place a bet and be like don't finish. You know, it's like what the fuck? I want to root for action, baby. That's why we go crazy.
It's like when Ed Herman got finished right before the 2.5 mark. Anyway.
You got to finish with your 2.5 sometimes too, a little bit early.
You gonna spend the $8,900 on your hero Kim?
No.
Okay, and as you shouldn't. She should be your DraftKings fade of the week. And speaking of DraftKings fade of the week, when you go to WeWantPicks.com, you become a premium member. You literally get all of our DraftKings insight, our fades, our dogs, our favorite plays, cash core, GPP core, all the information you can need to build a lineup, including an actual tool that will build the lineups for you.
She's cute too.
Kim? Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's got some weird.
I like that little.
She's got some weird pictures, but yes, I agree.
She's I like that mischievous look there.
Like a little I'm up to something. We do have a $2 super chat from Blackie400. Another great weekend because of you guys. We want picks for the win. Thank you very much. Screen name Blackie400. That is the screen name. I'm not making assumptions about this person.
Damn.
I'm not using that in any sort of derogatory way. Thank you very much for the super chat.